Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our matinee of To Life, the world of Jewish Broadway, otherwise known as the music of Broadway, minus Cole Porter. There's no business like show business, and Irving Berlin said it best. And Cole Porter famously conceded that it wasn't until he started writing Jewish music that he finally successfully composed for Broadway.
The butcher, the baker, the grocer, the clerk are secretly unhappy men because the butcher, the baker, the grocer, the clerk get paid for what they do, but no applause.
They'd gladly bid their dreary jobs goodbye to anything theatrical. And why?
There's no business like show business like no business I know.
Everything about it is appealing, everything the traffic would allow.
Nowhere could you get that happy feeling when you are stealing that extra bow. There's no people like show people, they smile when they are low. Even with a turkey that you know will fold, you may be stranded out in the cold. Still you wouldn't trade it for a sack of gold. Let's go on with the show.
The costumes, the makeup, the scenery, the props, the audience that lifts you when you're down.
The headaches, the heartaches, the backaches, the flops, the sheriff who escorts you out of town.
The opening when your heart beats like a drum.
The closing when the customers won't come. There's no business like show business like no business I know. Traveling through the country is so thrilling, standing out in front on opening night, smiling as you watch the benches filling, and there's your billing up there in lights. There's no people like show people, they smiled when they are low. Yesterday they told you you would not go far. That night you open and there you are. Next day on your dressing room they've hung a star. Let's go on with the show. Let's go on with the show.
This afternoon, listen to the music made famous on Broadway by Jews. Everything you will hear this afternoon was written by Jewish songwriters, or performed by Jewish entertainers, or sung by Jewish characters in musicals. But you will not hear or see it all. Jerome Kern, as well as many of the contemporary songwriters, are equally brilliant. But if we wanted to feature all of them, we'd be here until a year from Tisha B'Av. Just checking. The road to Broadway for many Jewish people was neither easy nor expected. A Jewish boy in Berlin in 1931 was named Mikhail Igor Peshavsky. In April of 1939, when the Nazis were arresting Jews in Berlin, 7-year-old Mikhail and his 3-year-old brother were sent alone to the United States to join their father, who had fled months earlier. His mother escaped through Italy in 1940 and reunited with them. In America, his father changed the family name to Nichols. And young Mikhail became, there you go. He was a college radio DJ and improv comedy player, and eventually half of the very famous comedy team of Mike Nichols and Elaine May. Mike Nichols directed his first Broadway play in 1963, the late Neil Simon's Barefoot in the Park, and the hits just kept on coming. So who better to direct the Broadway musical Spamalot, and especially this number from the show, other than Mr. Mike Nichols? In any great adventure, if you don't want to lose, victory depends upon the people that you choose. So listen, Arthur darling, closely to this news. We won't succeed on Broadway if we don't have any Jews. You may have the finest sets, fill your stage with penthouse pets. You may have the loveliest costumes and best shoes. You may dance and you may sing, but I must warn you, Arthur King, you won't get cheers, just lots and lots of boos. You may have butch men by the score, whom the audience adore. You may even have some animals from zoos. Though you've poles and krauts instead, you may have unleavened bread, but I tell you, you are dead if you don't have any Jews. I made you out of clay. They won't care if it's witty or everything looks pretty. They'll simply say it's shitty and refuse. Nobody will go, sir, if it's not kosher, then no show, sir. Even Goyim won't be dim enough to choose. Put on shows that men can spare, and lovely girls in underwear. You may even have the finest of reviews. You're looking great, but the audiences won't care, sir, as long as you don't dare, sir, to open up on Broadway if you don't have any Jews. You may have dramatic lighting with lots of horrid fighting. You may even have some white men sing the blues. Your knights may be nice boys, but sadly we're all goys, and that noise that you call hearing you must lose. So besides your pretty lights and naughty girls and nasty tights and the most impressive scenery you use, you may have dancing mano mano, you may schlep on a piano, but you will not get a demo if you don't get any Jews. Here we go. 9 national tours. I have the toughest song in the show, and now I have to make believe there's a bottle on my head. Okay, let's make the most of it. Is it still on? Oh, the hell with it. Mazel tov! You may fill your plays with gays, have Nigerian girls and stays. You may even have some shiksas making stews. You will not get a clue if you don't have a Jew. All of your investments you are going to lose. There's a very small percentile who enjoys a dancing Gentile. I'm sad to be the one with this bad news. But never mind the swordplay, you just won't succeed on Broadway. You just don't succeed on Broadway if you don't have any Jews. Papa, can you hear me? Fosse jazz hands. To get along on Broadway, to sing your song on Broadway, to hit the top on Broadway and not lose. I tell you, Arthur King, there is one essential thing. There simply must be Jews. Hey! There simply must be, Arthur, trust me, simply must be Jews.
It's good to be Jewish. What? You don't believe me? This cost a lot of money. So let's talk about the great Irishman, George M. Cohan. Not Cohen, but Cohan. He was a wildly talented Irishman who changed Broadway and gave it a distinctly American voice and style. By the Roaring '20s and the Jazz Age, the baton was passed from the Irish to the Jewish. And there was one Jewish performer who could do no wrong on Broadway, and that was Al Jolson. He was so popular, he would often stop the show and step out of character and serenade the audience. The immigrant Jew could now be a star on Broadway. Jolson sang George Gershwin's first hit, Swanee. Gershwin claimed he wrote it on a bus going to a party that Jolson attended.
You ain't heard nothing yet, kid.
This song was first introduced into the 1918 musical Sinbad.
I've been away from you a long time. I never thought I'd miss you so. Somehow I feel your love is real. Near you I want to be. The birds are singing, it is song time. The banjo's strumming soft and low. I know that you yearn for me too. Swanee, you're calling me. Swanee, how I love ya, my dear old Swanee. I'd give the world to be among the folks in DIXI, even though my mammy's waiting for me, praying for me down by the Swanee. The folks up north will see me no more when I get to that Swanee shore. Swanee, Swanee, I'm coming back to Swanee. Mammy, Mammy, I love the old folks at home. Oh, 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 Swanee, how I love ya, my dear old Swanee. I'd give the world to be among the folks in DIXI, even though my mammy's waiting for me, praying for me down by the Swanee. The folks up north will see me no more when I get to that Swanee shore.
Okay, let's see where we are. I don't need these, they're merely a fashion accessory. In 1919, Richard Rodgers and Lorenz Hart met for the very first time. A child prodigy, Richard Rodgers wrote his first song at age 10 and was later honored as the first freshman to write the score for the annual musical variety shows at Columbia University, which is where he met Lorenz Hart. Larry to his friends, but always Lorenz to his mother. Rodgers befriended Hart, who over the years had overcome a number of personal obstacles, and the two began a collaboration that lasted until Hart's death in 1943. They made their Broadway debut in the 1919 musical A Lonely Romeo, but their breakthrough came in 1925 with the Garrick Gaieties, which starred another great Jewish Broadway musical star of that early era, Libby Holman. With so many hits, too numerous to mention, I know you all know the following three songs that are coming up. They're absolutely beautiful. We are going to do Body and Soul, Thou Swell, and I Wish I Were in Love Again, some of the duo's finest and most memorable pieces.
My heart is sad and lonely. For you I sigh, for you, dear, only. Why haven't you seen it? I'm all for you, body and soul. I spend my days in longing and wondering why it's me you're wronging. I tell you I mean it. I'm all for you, body and soul. I can't believe it. It's hard to conceive it, that you turn away romance. Are you pretending it looks like the ending? Unless I could have one more chance to prove, dear, my life a wreck you're making. You know I'm yours for just the taking. I'd gladly surrender myself to you, body and soul. I can't believe it, it's hard to conceive it, that you turn away romance. Are you pretending it looks like the ending? Unless I could have one more chance to prove, dear, my life a wreck you're making. You know I'm yours for just the taking. I'd gladly surrender myself to you, body. I'd gladly surrender myself to you, myself to you, body and body and soul.
Thou swell, thou witty, thou sweet, thou grand, would kiss me pretty, would hold my hand. Both thine eyes are cute too, what they do to me. Hear me holler, I choose a sweet Lollapalooza indie. Well, I'd feel so rich in a hut for two rooms, a kitchen, I'm sure would do. Give me not a lot of, just a plot of land. And thou swell, thou witty, thou grand. Thou swell, thou witty, thou sweet, thou grand, would kiss me pretty, would hold my hand. Hear me holler, I choose a sweet Lollapalooza indie. Well, I'd feel so rich in a hut for two rooms, a kitchen, I'm sure would do. Give me not a lot of, just a plot of land. And thou swell, thou witty, thou sweet, thou pretty, thou swell, thou sweet, thou pretty, thou grand. Whoa!
You don't know that I felt good when we up and parted.
You don't know I knocked on wood, gladly broken-hearted.
Worrying is through, I sleep all night, appetite and health restored.
You don't know how much I'm bored.
The sleepless nights, the daily fights, the quick toboggan as you reach the heights. I miss the kisses and I miss the bites. I wish I were in love again.
The broken dates, the endless waits, the lovely loving and the hateful hates, the conversation with the flying plates. I wish I were in love again.
No more pain.
No more strain.
Now I'm sane, but I'd rather be gaga. the pulled out fur of cat and cur.
The fine mismating of a him and her.
I've learned my lesson, but I wish I were in love again. The furtive sigh, the mad goodbye, the words I'll love you till the day I die, the self-deception that believes the lie. I wish I were in love again.
When love congeals, it soon reveals the faint aroma of performing seals, the double crossing of a pair of heels. I wish I were in love again. No more care,
No despair.
I'm all there now, but I'd rather be punch drunk.
Believe me, sir, I'd much prefer the classic battle of a him and her.
I don't like quiet, and I wish I were in love again.
Now, neither Libby Holman nor Al Jolson were by any means isolated cases of Jewish stars on Broadway. For example, during the early era, there was one quintessentially talented, wonderful Jewish female Broadway star, and that, of course, was Fanny Brice. In 1929, Ben Sylvan recorded a tune by Milton Ager called Happy Days Are Here Again. 33 years later, Barbra Streisand records this song and, of course, goes on to depict the great Fanny Brice. Then in 1963, Streisand performs with the iconic Judy Garland and sings Happy Days in a duet with Judy. And I lost my place. Sings Get Happy by the composer Harold Arluck, who changed his name to Harold Arlen. Everybody's Jewish, remember?
Forget your troubles.
Happy days
Come on, get happy.
are here again.
You better
The
chase all
skies
your
above
cares
are
away.
clear again.
Shout hallelujah.
So let's sing a song.
Come on, get happy.
of cheer again. Happy
We're heading
days
for the
are
judgment
here
day.
again.
The sun is shining.
Come together.
Come on, get happy.
Shout it now.
The Lord
There's
is
no
waiting to
one who
take your
can
hand.
doubt it now.
Shout hallelujah.
So let's tell the world.
Come on, get happy.
about it now. Happy
We're going
days
to the
are
promised
here
land.
again.
We're heading across the river. Our cares will soon be gone.
There'll be no more from now on. From now on.
Forget your troubles. Come on, get happy. You better chase all your blues away. Shout hallelujah.
So let's sing a song.
Come on, get happy.
Of cheer again. Happy times.
Happy times.
Happy nights.
Happy nights, happy days are here again.
Aren't you glad you came? And we get to hear it again tonight. From Jewish entertainers to Jewish songwriters and the works of George and Ira Gershwin. Here is one of their hit Broadway songs that became a great American songbook classic, performed by the likes of Ella Fitzgerald right through to Frank Sinatra.
Days can be sunny with never a sigh. Don't need what money can buy. Birds in the trees sing the day full of song. Why shouldn't we sing along? I'm chipper all the day, happy with my lot. How could I get that way? Look at what I've got. I got rhythm, I got music, I got my gal who could ask for anything more. I got daisies in green pastures, I got my gal who could ask for anything more. Old man Trouble, I don't mind him, you won't find him around my door. I got starlight, I got sweet dreams, I got my gal who could ask for anything more. I got daisies in green pastures, I got my gal who can ask for anything more. So much more. Old man Trouble, well, I don't mind him, you won't find him around my front or back door. I got starlight, I got sweet dreams, I got my gal who can ask for anything more, who can ask for anything more. Who can ask for anything more? Let the drums roll out, let the trumpet call, while the people shout, strike up the band.
Hear the cymbals ring, calling one and all, to the martial swing, strike up the band.
There is work to be done, to be done. There's a war to be won, to be won. Come, you son of a gun, take your stand.
Fall in line, yay, bo. Come along, let's go. Hey, leader, strike up the band. All right, I'm ready. Let the drums roll out, let the trumpet call, while the people shout, strike up the band. Hear the cymbals ring, calling one and all, to the martial swing, strike up the band. There is work to be done, to be done. There's a war to be won, to be won. Come, you son of a gun, take your stand. Fall in line, yay, bo. Come along, let's go. Hey, leader, strike up the band.
Now we come to the composing team of Lerner and Loewe. Their first hit was Brigadoon, followed by Paint Your Wagon, My Fair Lady, Gigi, and Camelot. Most people probably don't think twice about Alan J. Lerner being Jewish. I mean, after all, his family did own a chain of women's clothing stores called Lerner Shop. In fact, there was one where I was raised in a place called Fresh Meadows. Oh, usually they're all back there. Okay, now we're all over the place. Francis Lewis. Okay. I want to ask you what year. Most people didn't know that Alan J. Lerner was married 8 times. One for each size, and I can't imagine why. They also didn't know that his partner, the aloof Viennese Frederick Loewe, known as Fritz, was also Jewish. He was the son of opera singers. But this is a true story. True. When I was 10 years old, my father took me to see the original production of My Fair Lady. starring Sally Ann House and Edward Mulhare, who had replaced Julie Andrews and Rex Harris. And as you can hear, I remember it like it was yesterday, fourth row balcony. And I remember turning to my dad at one point saying, "Daddy, is this what magic is?" And my father said, "Jeff, do you want to do magic?" And uphill, thank God, from there. The show was an incredible hit, much like our show, because there hasn't been an empty seat since we opened. You couldn't get a seat to My Fair Lady. 2 years in advance, the high ticket price was $5.60, and which was a lot back then. And the first Wednesday matinee, I'll never forget this. It was an interesting story, but prior to that, I would look, those of you who are New Yorkers who got the New York Times on Sunday, remember section 2? It was the arts and entertainment section. And they used to feature pictures of Broadway theaters and what was going on. And they had this one shot of My Fair Lady the morning after it opened, and the line went down 51st Street from Mark Hellinger, past Lindy's, and then headed north towards Columbus Circle. The line was about 6 blocks long. You could not get a seat. First Wednesday matinee, 2 days after the show opens. Guy sits down, 5th row center, beautiful seat. And there's an empty seat next to him. And a woman of a certain age comes in and moves down and leaves this empty seat right next to him. And he thinks that's very odd. People are paying $200, which was a fortune back then for a seat. The show starts. Ba, 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 and he's singing along to the overture and everything else. And the intermission comes, and he can't stand it any longer. And he says to the woman, "Excuse me, ma'am, but isn't it odd that there's an empty seat between us?" And she says, "Well, my husband was supposed to come." And he said, "Well, why didn't he?" And she said, "He died." And the man said, "Couldn't you bring a friend?" And she said, "They're all at the funeral." They get worse. Thank you. 1956, the Broadway musical My Fair Lady, the greatest show ever written, both with critics and audiences alike. It set the record at the time for the longest Broadway run up to that time, followed by a hit London production, a popular film version, and countless revivals, earning its affectionate and deserved title as the perfect musical, and this is why.
I have often walked down this street before, but the pavement always stayed beneath my feet before. All at once am I several stories high, knowing I'm on the street where you live. Are there lilac trees in the heart of town? Can you hear a lark in any other part of town? Does enchantment pour out of every door? No, it's just on the street where you live. And oh, the towering feeling just to know somehow you are near. The overpowering feeling that any second you may suddenly appear. People stop and stare, they don't bother me, for there's nowhere else on earth that I would rather be. Let the time go by, I won't care if I can be here on the street where you live.
Okay, I'm having my Kreskin moment, and I'm thinking all of you are thinking, they don't write them like that anymore. They don't. But now, for something completely different. The score to Little Shop of Horrors was written by the very young Jewish composing team of Alan Menken and Howard Ashman, who were just trying to make their way into the musical theater. Their spoof, based on the 1960 low-budget horror movie, started in a tiny off-Broadway theater in 1982, but then New Yorkers moved down to 2nd Avenue to the Orpheum, where it played for an incredible 5 years. Much later, when the show was already a legend, it finally moved to Broadway.
Lift up your head, wash off your mascara. Here, take my Kleenex, wipe that lipstick away. Show me your face, clean as the morning. I know things were bad, but now they're okay. Suddenly, Seymour is standing beside you. You don't need no makeup, don't have to pretend. Suddenly, Seymour is here to provide you sweet understanding. Seymour's your friend.
Nobody ever treated me kindly. Daddy left early. Mama was poor. I'd meet a man and I'd follow him blindly. He'd snap his fingers. Me, I'd say, sure. Suddenly Seymour is standing beside me. He don't give me orders. He don't condescend. Suddenly Seymour is here to provide me sweet understanding. Seymour's my friend.
Tell me this feeling lasts to forever. Tell me the bad times are clean washed away.
Please understand that it's still strange and frightening for losers like I've been. It's so hard to say. Suddenly Seymour,
Suddenly Seymour,
he purified me.
He purified you.
Suddenly Seymour,
Suddenly Seymour,
show me I can.
yes you can be more. The girl that's inside you, with sweet understanding,
With sweet understanding.
with sweet understanding,
With sweet understanding.
with sweet understanding. Seymour's your
Oh, Seymour!
The preeminent composer of my generation is Stephen Sondheim. In 1973, he wrote a masterpiece called A Little Night Music. I remember seeing it numerous times, and I was a kid and I didn't quite understand what this particular song meant. And then as I got older, it hit me and it was quite devastating. This is obviously his most popular creation. Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, you in midair. Send in the clowns. Isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? One who keeps tearing around, one who can't move. Where are the clowns? Send in the clowns. Just when I'd stopped opening doors, finally finding the one that I wanted was yours. Making my entrance again with my usual flair. Sure of my lines, no one is there. Don't you love farce? My fault, I fear. I thought that you'd want what I want. Sorry, my dear. But where are the clowns? Quick, send in the clowns. Don't bother, they're here. Isn't it rich? Isn't it queer? Losing my timing this late in my career. Where are the clowns? Send in the clowns. Well, maybe next year.
Leonard Bernstein. Who here remembers On the Town? Yeah. All right. Oh, there are so many great songs from this incredible musical by Bernstein, Betty Comden, and Adolph Green. But today, we're going to highlight this one. It features the character Hildy, who convinces her sailor that not only is she a great lover, but what every man of the day might have desired, she can cook too. And by the way, Bernstein also wrote the lyrics to this one.
Oh, I can cook too. On top of the rest, my seafood's the best in the town. Yes, I can cook too. My fish can't be beat. My sugar's the sweetest around. I'm a man's ideal of the perfect meal, right down to the demi-tasse. I'm a pot of joy for a hungry boy, baby. I'm cooking with gas. Oh, I'm a gumdrop, a sweet lollipop, a brook trout right out of the brook. Yeah, what's more, baby, I can cook. Some girls make magazine covers. Some girls keep house on a dime. Some girls make wonderful lovers. But what a lucky find I'm. I'd make a magazine cover. I do keep house on a dime. I'd make a wonderful lover. I should be paid overtime, 'cause I can bake too. On top of the lot, my oven's one's the hottest you'll find. Yes, I can roast too. My chicken's just stews. My gravy will lose you your mind. I'm a brand new note on a table d'eau, but just try me a la carte. With a single course, you could choke a horse. Baby, you won't know where to start. Oh, I'm an hors d'oeuvre, a jelly preserve, not in the recipe book. And what's more, baby, I can cook. Baby, I'm cooking with gas, so I'm a gumdrop, a sweet lollipop, a brook trout right out of the brook. And what's more, baby, I care. What's more, baby? What's more, baby? I can cook.
Ay, those quick changes are exhausting. Stephen Sondheim again. Stephen Sondheim's big break came when he got the chance to write the lyrics to Leonard Bernstein's score for West Side Story in 1957. The background of West Side Story is far more Jewish than you'd probably realize. When the show was originally conceived almost a decade earlier, it was called East Side Story. And the two gangs, wait for it, were Irish and Jewish. Don't hit me. You just imagine. The feeling at the time was that it was too much like A.B.'s Irish Rose and the project was shelved. Years later, the papers were full of stories about gangs on New York's West Side. So the story was resurrected as a battle between Puerto Ricans and local whites. Interesting, the actual battleground of West Side Story later became the site of Lincoln Center.
The most beautiful sound I ever heard. Maria, 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 Maria. All the beautiful sounds of the world in a single word. Maria, 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 Maria. Maria, Maria, Maria. I just met a girl named Maria, and suddenly that name will never be the same to me. Maria, I just kissed a girl named Maria, and suddenly I found how wonderful a sound can be. Maria, say it loud, and there's music playing. Say it soft, and it's almost like praying. Maria, I'll never stop saying Maria. Maria, Maria, Maria. Maria, 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 Maria. Say it loud, and there's music playing. Say it soft, and it's almost like praying. Maria, I'll never stop saying Maria. The most beautiful sound I ever heard. Maria.
tropical breezes. Always the pineapples growing, always the coffee blossoms blowing.
Puerto Rico, you ugly island, island of tropic diseases. Always the hurricanes blowing, always the population growing, and the money owing, and the babies crying, and the bullets flying. I like the island, Manhattan.
I know you do.
Smoke on your pipe and put that in. I like to be in America, okay by me in America. Everything's free in America, for a small fee in America.
I like the city of San Juan.
I know a boat you can get on. Bye-bye.
Hundreds of flowers in full bloom.
Hundreds of people in each room.
Automobile in America, chromium steel in America, wire smoke wheel in America, very big deal in America.
Take that from a Jewish Puerto Rican girl.
When I will go back to San Juan,
When you will shut up and get done,
everyone there will give big cheer.
Everyone there will have moved here.
immigrant goes to America, many hellos in America, nobody knows in America, Puerto Rico's in America. Ole!
You speak! Jeffrey, do your speech! Speak! Jeffrey! Rapido! Rapido!
All right, Rita, or Cheetah, or whatever your name happens to be. Jerry Herman. Jerry Herman not only won 2 Best Musical Tony Awards for Hello Dolly and La Cage aux Folles, but he also was given a Tony Award for Lifetime Achievement in the Theater, as well as being the recipient of the 2010 Kennedy Center Honors Award. In addition to everything else, he happens to be our neighbor living down in Miami Beach. Jerry's never been shy about 2 things, about being gay or about being Jewish, although it was his being Jewish that led to his first Broadway book musical in 1961, a show about the founding of Israel entitled Milk and Honey. This next incredible song is from that show.
Shalom, Jeffrey.
Shalom, Wainola.
Shalom, shalom, you'll find shalom, the nicest greeting I know. It means bonjour, salud, and skol, and twice as much as hello. It means a million lovely things, like peace be yours, welcome home. And even when you say goodbye with shalom. It's a very useful word. It can get you through the day. Everything you need to know. You can hardly go wrong. This is your home as long as you say Shalom, the nicest greeting I know. Shalom means twice as much as hello. It means a million lovely things, like peace be yours, welcome home. And And even when you say goodbye, if your voice says I don't want to go in it, say goodbye with a little hello in it, and say goodbye with shalom. It's the most amazing thing that I think I've ever heard. Wait till Berlitz hears of you. All my foundering's done. I'm a native with one little word. All right, everybody, sing along with me. You know the words by now. Ready? And shalom, shalom, you'll find shalom, the nicest greeting I know. It means bonjour, salute, and skol, and twice as much as hello. It means a million lovely things, like peace be yours, welcome home. And even when you say goodbye, if your voice says I don't want to go in it, say goodbye with a little hello in it, and say goodbye with shalom. Thank you for singing with me. Shalom.
With a life that spanned more than 100 years and a song catalog of over 1,000 songs, Irving Berlin epitomized Jerome Kern's famous maxim that Irving Berlin has no place in American music. He is American music. Over 5 decades, Berlin produced an outpouring of ballads and dance numbers, novelty tunes, and love songs that defined American music for much of the century. In 1925, many years after his first wife had died, he married an heiress named Ellen McKay. So what do you give a woman who has everything? Well, if you're Irving Berlin, you write her a song, and an incredibly beautiful song at that.
Everything went wrong, and the whole day long I'd feel so blue. For the longest while I'd forget to smile. Then I met you. Now that my blue days have passed, now that I found you at last, I'll be loving you always, with a love that's true, always. When the things you've planned need a helping hand, I will understand, always, always. Days may not be fair, always. That's when I'll be there, always. Not for just an hour, not for just a day, not for just a year, but always. Will you dance with me? Oh, you don't have to dance. We won't jitterbug. We'll just sway nicely. Oh, you're in your purse. Always. Come on up, give her a hand, yeah. Give her a hand. I love that. Thank you so much. Everyone help me out. Days may not be fair. Days may not be fair. Always. That's when I'll be there. That's when I'll be there. Always. Not for just an hour. Not for just an hour.
not for just a day, for just a day, not for just a year, not for just a year, but always. Not for just an hour, not for just a day, not for just a year. That was beautiful. Thank you, and thank you.
Thank you, Mark Sanders and Myron Florin on the accordion. And that concludes the sing-along portion for this afternoon. Okay, the next time you're in New York and you go to the Music Box Theater on West 45th, that's the theater that Irving Berlin built and owned. You'll find a piano downstairs in the lounge area, and that is actually Irving Berlin's piano. The musical theater, thanks to this Jewish immigrant from Russia, would never be the same, and we on this stage would never be the same without our own piano man, musical director, brilliant maestro. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. Paul Ricci.
I love the piano, I love the piano. I love to hear somebody play upon a piano, a grand piano. It simply carries me away. I know a fine way to treat a Steinway. I love to run my fingers o'er the keys, the ivories, and with the pedal I love to meddle. Not only music from Broadway. I'm so delighted when I'm invited to hear a long-haired genius play. So you can keep your fiddle and your bow. Give me a Piano. I love to stop right beside an upright or a high-toned baby grand.
We are so lucky to have Paul. That's all I can tell you. Now, when you look back at the career of Barbra Streisand, is she Jewish? Yeah, okay. You'd think she would be a natural shoo-in for Funny Girl, but not true. True story coming up. When I was a kid living in Fresh Meadows, thank you for that round of applause. Thank you. There you go. On 193rd Lane, living next door to Abe and Corrine Cohen. Now, Corrine's maiden name was Corrine Gormazano, Sephardic, and her sister, her younger sister's name was Edith Gormazano. Now, Edith Gormazano changed her name to possibly the greatest singer ever, in my opinion. I grew up with Edie, and she was very helpful with my career, actually. And this I got straight from Edie's mouth, this story about Funny Girl. It's a great story. When they were first doing it, they thought, who's the first person that we're going to ask to play Fanny Brice? Now, I know you're all sitting down, and I hope you're near water, because you're not going to be ready for this one. You ready? Yes! Is she here? Mary Martin. They'd have to change the name to Funny Matron. I mean, could you just imagine? Sweet Mary. But she turned it down, thank goodness. Then they went to Anne Bancroft, fresh off Miracle Worker. Let's leave that unsaid. Then they came to Edie, And they said, Edie, how would you like to do it? And she said, I would love to do it. She had not made her debut yet with Steve in Golden Rainbow. And she said, well, I would love to do it, but I will only do it if Steve plays Nicky Arnstein. And they weren't quite ready for that. They asked Kay Ballard. They then asked Carol Burnett, who said, I'd love to do it, but you got to get a Jewish girl. Now, Mary Martin, of course, Jodie's played the role before. Mary Martin wasn't Jewish. Mary Martin, I've got to tell you a little side story about Mary Martin. That sweet thing. Years ago, in theater, you used to send telegrams to fellow stars, to wish them luck on opening night. Now, Mary Martin was flying around, trying not to hit the wings in Peter Pan up at the Winter Garden, and sweet little darling Florence Henderson was appearing. She was opening that night at the Majestic in the musical Fanny. And sweet little butterwood melt in her mouth Mary sent Florence a little telegram that said, Dear Florence, I hope your Fanny is bigger than my Peter. Too much? Okay. Anyway, the year before, Barbra Streisand had made a huge hit in I Can Get It For You Wholesale down at the Shubert Theater. And of course, she went in as a 21-year-old and became a huge star. Garson Kanin was the director. You'd expect more of him. He wanted to cut the song People from the show. True. He felt, all from Edie, he felt that the song had nothing to do with the character of Fanny Brice. Now, luckily, Streisand had recorded the song about 2 months earlier, and it became a huge hit. In Boston, when they opened, the audience would applaud the song during the overture. And here's Jodie to show you why.
We travel single, oh, I guess we're lucky, but I don't know. With them, just let one kid fall down and 7 mothers faint. I guess we're both happy, but maybe we ain't. People who need people are the luckiest people in the world. We're children needing other children, and yet letting our grown-up pride hide all the need inside, acting more like children than children. Lovers are very special people. They're the luckiest people in the world. With one person, one very special person, a feeling deep in your soul says you were half, now you're whole. No more hunger and thirst, but first be a person who needs people. People who need people are the luckiest people in the
Still thinking back to Edie and imagining if Steve did get it, and the marquee on the Winter Garden, if they used their real names, wouldn't it have been great? Funny Girl, starring Edith Gormazano and Sid Leibowitz. The following songs are all from 1964. The year that the floodgates opened and it was no longer enough for Jews just to create shows for Broadway, this was when shows started being about Jews as well. This was the year, of course, of Fiddler on the Roof, Funny Girl, Hello, Dolly, and What Makes Sammy Run, finally starring Sid Leibowitz. Not incidentally, 1964 is considered by many to be the greatest single year in the history of Broadway theater. If Jewish composers spent half a century writing about everyone's heritage except their own, once they got to the point where they could do it in 1964, they'd be damned if they'd let anyone rain on their parade.
Don't tell me not to live, just sit and putter. Life's candy and the sun's a ball of butter. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade. Don't tell me not to fly, I've simply got to. If someone takes a spill, it's me and not you. Who told you you're allowed to rain on my parade? I'll march my band out, I'll beat my drum, and if I'm fanned out, your turn at bat, sir. At least I didn't fake it, hat, sir. I guess I didn't make it, but whether I'm the rose of sheer perfection, a freckle on the nose of life's complexion, a cinder or the shiny apple of its eye, I've gotta fly once, I've gotta try once, only can die once, right, sir? Ooh, love is juicy, juicy, and you'll see I gotta have my bite, sir. Get ready for me, love, 'cause I'm a comer. I've simply gotta march, my heart's a drummer. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade. I'm gonna live and live now, get what I want, I know how. One roll for the whole shebang, one throw, that bell will go clang. Eye on the target and wham, one shot, one gunshot and bam! Hey, Mr. Ornstein, here I am. I'll march my band out, I'll beat my drum, and if I'm fanned out, your turn at bat, sir. At least I didn't fake it, hat, sir. I guess I didn't make it. Get ready for me, love, 'cause I'm a comer. I've simply gotta march, my heart's a drummer. Nobody, no, nobody is gonna rain on my parade.
Take that, Babs! Another Jewish playwright, librettist, and actor had a major impact on the Broadway musical, and I am speaking of Harvey Fierstein. I should warn you, I see a little clear air turbulence happening in just a few minutes, and you might want to fasten your seatbelt for the next number. Harvey won both the Tony Award for his acting in Hairspray and for writing the book for the musical La Cage aux Folles, collaborating with our neighbor, Jerry Herman, who wrote the music and lyrics.
What I am. I am my own special creation. So come, take a look. Give me the hook or the ovation. It's my world that I want to have a little pride in. My world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can say, hey world, I am what I am. I am what I am. I don't want praise, I don't want pity. I bang my own drum. Some think it's noise, I think it's pretty. And so what if I love each feather and each spangle? Why not try to see things from a different angle? Your life is a sham till you can shout out loud, I am what I am. I am what I am, and what I am needs no excuses. I deal my own deck, sometimes the ace, sometimes the deuces. There's one life and there's no return and no deposit. One life, so it's time to open up your closet. Life's not worth a damn till you can say, hey world, I am what I
Told you. Many critics, and I agree with them, consider the greatest music of all time to be the 1959 production of Gypsy, with music by Julie Stein and lyrics by Stephen Sondheim. This show, of course, was based on the memoirs of Gypsy Rose Lee, and it was first offered to Irving Berlin, who turned it down. Then it was offered to Cole Porter, who turned it down. It was then offered to Stephen Sondheim, but the show's star Ethel Merman turned him down. She wanted a seasoned composer. She wanted Julie Stein. Stein agreed, but he wanted, follow this, Sondheim, fresh off of his success as the lyricist for West Side Story. Wanted him to write the lyrics. Sondheim, chomping at the bit to write both the music and the lyrics, didn't want to do it. He had to be convinced by his mentor, Oscar Hammerstein, to settle for just doing the lyrics again. True story. After they began work on the show, Passover rolled around, and Julie Stein invited Merman over for Passover, Seder. Well, everybody thought Ethel was Jewish because her maiden name, or her real name, was Zimmerman, but she chopped off her Zim and became Merman. She was really an Episcopalian. Now, what does an Episcopalian bring to Seder? Was it a bottle of Manischewitz? A box of Malamars? Entenmann's? No, she brought a ham sandwich. Now, Seder aside, everything else regarding Gypsy was coming up roses.
I had a dream about you, baby. It's gonna come through, baby. They think that we're through. But baby, you'll be swell. You'll be great. Gonna have the whole world on a plate. Starting here, starting now. Honey, everything's coming up roses. Clear the decks, clear the tracks. We've got nothing to do but relax. Blow a kiss, take a bow. Honey, everything's coming up roses. Now's your inning. Stand the world on its ear. Set it spinning. That'll be just the beginning. Curtain up, light the lights. We've got nothing to hit but the heights. You'll be swell, you'll be great. I can tell, just you wait. That lucky star I talk about is due. Honey, everything's coming up roses and daffodils. Everything's coming up sunshine and lollipops. Everything's gonna be bright lights and lollipops. Everything's coming up roses for me and for you.
Dear God, you made many, many poor people. What would have been so terrible for me to have a small fortune? If I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. If I were a biddy rich, idle man, I'd build a big tall house with rooms by the dozen right in the middle of the town. A fine tin roof with real wooden floors below. There would be one long staircase just going up, and one even longer coming down, and one more leading nowhere just for show. I'd fill my yard with chicks and turkeys and geese and ducks for the town to see and hear, squawking just as noisily as they can. And each loud would land like a trumpet on the ear, as if to say, here lives a wealthy man. If I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. If I were a biddy rich, idle man, I see my wife, my Golda, looking like a rich man's wife with a proper double chin, supervising meals to her heart's delight. I see her putting on airs and strutting like a peacock. Oi, what a happy mood she's in, screaming at the servants day and night. The most important men in town would come to fawn on me. They would ask me to advise them, like Solomon the Wise. If you please, Reptevia, pardon me, Reptevia, posing problems that would cross a rabbi's eyes. Bye, 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 bye. And it won't make one bit of difference if I answer right or wrong. When you're rich, they think you really know. If I were rich, I'd have the time that I lack to sit in the synagogue and pray. Maybe have a seat by the eastern wall. And I'd discuss the holy books with the learned men 7 hours every day. That would be the sweetest thing of all. Hi, if I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Lord, who made the lion and the lamb? You decreed I should be what I am. Would it spoil some vast eternal plan if I were a wealthy man? Is this the little girl I carried? Is this the little boy at play?
I don't remember growing older. When did they?
When did she get to be a beauty? When did he grow to be so tall?
Wasn't it yesterday when they were small?
Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly flow the days. Seedlings turn overnight to sunflowers, blossoming even as we gaze. Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly fly the years, one season following another, laden with happiness and tears. Mazel tov! To life, l'chaim, 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 to life. Here's to the father I've tried to be. Here's to my bride to be. Drink l'chaim, to life, l'chaim, 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 to life. Life has a way of confusing us, blessing and bruising us. Drink l'chaim to life. God would like us to be joyful, even when our hearts lie panting on the floor. How much more can we be joyful when there's really something to be joyful for? To life, l'chaim, 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 to life. It takes a wedding to make us say, let's live another day. Drink l'chaim to life. Die, 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 fortune. Be happy, be healthy, long life. And if our good fortune never comes, here's to whatever comes. Drink l'chaim to life. To us and our good fortune, be happy, be healthy, long life. And if our good fortune never comes, here's to whatever comes. Drink l'chaim.